All right. We are going to YouTube on a different channel. So sorry about that for those of you that are here on Zoom watching this YouTube, and I'll send a message once we get going to the people that are on the other channel. And there we are.
Oh, you're muted.
All right. Let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, thank you.
I just
Yes,
thought I'd do a backup of the backup.
that's a very good idea. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. We're at the top of the hour, and it is day number 6 of Mastering the Science of Getting Rich. And today we are on chapter 6 of that amazing book by Wallace D. Wattles. And, I love how step by step, chapter by chapter, day by day, if you're reading this on a daily basis, things get better and better about following the science of getting rich. And it's a logical sequence of steps. And if you just take the time to, okay, like we're doing it on a daily basis, read it day by day, think about it, work on it, and then move along. By the end of this, you are going to be so much a better person. Robert loves to share with us that if you get 1% gooder every single day, by the end of the year, you will be 365% gooder. And we are on that track right now with Mastering the Science of Getting Rich, Chapter 6, How Riches Come to You. And to share with us this training, the man behind it, our amazing friend, our guide, our mentor, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Robert Hollis.
Thank you, Mr. Craig Jackman. I appreciate you so much. And I see all of you on here. And Matt, I see you on here. Thank you guys so much for jumping on. And man, all I can say to each and every one of you that if you haven't tuned in the last couple of days, it's like, wow, 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 wow. So I don't know if you guys ever heard someone say this, but if you ever heard someone say, I got some good news and some bad news, everybody should say, I want the bad news first. I immediately jumped off because of what we discovered yesterday and how we're all sort of mastermind, using the mastermind. I put in Misfit Foundation. It's already taken. So, maybe Hollis Foundation will be a good example because each and every one of you will want to create your own as you get the millions and millions and millions of dollars flowing. And I sort of rephrased a little statement that I said yesterday. It's like cash will flow when you have a place for it to go. Now, I love coming up with quotes, and I wouldn't have came up with the quote if it wasn't for you guys. So you guys all get credit as well. But I love going into Google and looking for a quote, and it's not there. No one's ever created a graphic on it.
One more time, Robert. What was that quote?
The quote is cash will flow when you have a place for it to go. And I just think that everyone, before we get into this chapter, need to know that, again, like I covered what's on my mind today, how to get motivated. And I think that we all agree that based on what we've seen people having breakthroughs here, that all of a sudden you put that out there and then you tell everyone, there's a phrase out there that has a lot to do with faith. Is you claim something, you tell the world, and then you figure it out. And sometimes you don't even have to figure it out because it opens up the channels to allow stuff to come to you, and things can come to you very, very, very quickly. Like we've already talked about in the previous chapters, where for a lack of better words, you're not tying the powers to be. You know what I mean? So a lot of us are looking for power outside of ourselves. When we possess the power, when we can focus it on helping somebody else. And the thought I wanted to share with you guys in my prayer and my meditation is that's why we love superheroes. Do you guys realize that? We love superheroes. And, you know, some of the guys that created the first superheroes, do you know why virtually every superhero has a weakness? Is because we're human beings. So Superman is incredible until you get around kryptonite. So isn't it hilarious that regardless on who your favorite superhero is, they got something that can take them down and get them in a bad mood and make them feel human. So being superhuman is when you take all of your focus and it's off you onto helping someone else. So we'll go ahead and get started with this chapter. And this is going to be exciting.
Attention business owners. If you're a business owner, you can get free access to this book.
Chapter 6, How Riches Come to You. When I say that you do not have to drive sharp bargains, I do not mean that you do not have to drive any bargains at all, or that you are above the necessity for having any dealings with your fellow men. I mean that you will not need to deal with them unfairly. You do not have to get something for nothing, but can give to every man more than you take from him. You cannot give every man more in cash market value than you take from him, but you can give him more in use value than the cash value of the thing you take from him. The paper, ink, and other material in this book may not be worth the money you pay for it, but if the ideas suggested by it bring you thousands of dollars, you have not been wronged by those who sold it to you. They have given you a great use value for a small cash value. Let us suppose that I own a picture by one of the great artists, which in any civilized community is worth thousands of dollars. I take it to Baffin Bay and by salesmanship induce an Eskimo to give a bundle of furs worth $500 for it. I have really wronged him, for he has no use for the picture. It has no value to him. It will not add to his life. But suppose I give him a gun worth $50 for his furs. Then he has made a good bargain. He has use for the gun. It will get him many more furs and much food. It will add to his life in every way. It will make him rich. When you rise from the competitive to the creative plane, you can scan your business transactions very strictly. And if you are selling any man anything which does not add more to his life than the thing he gives you in exchange, you can afford to stop it. You do not have to beat anybody in business. And if you are in a business which does beat people, get out of it at once. Give every man more in use value than you take from him in cash value. Then you are adding to the life of the world by every business transaction. If you have people working for you, you must take from them more in cash value than you pay them in wages. But you can so organize your business that it will be filled with the principle of advancement, and so that each employee who wishes to do so may advance a little every day. You can make your business do for your employees what this book is doing for you. You can so conduct your business that it will be a sort of ladder by which every employee who will take the trouble may climb to riches himself, and, given the opportunity, if he will not do so, it is not your fault. And finally, because you are to cause the creation of your riches from formless substance, which permeates all your environment, it does not follow that they are to take shape from the atmosphere and come into being before your eyes. If you want a sewing machine, for instance, I do not mean to tell you that you are to impress the thought of a sewing machine on thinking substance until the machine is formed without hands in the room where you sit or elsewhere. But if you want a sewing machine, hold the mental image of it with the most positive certainty that it is being made or is on its way to you. After once forming the thought, have the most absolute and unquestioning faith that the sewing machine is coming. Never think of it or speak of it in any other way than as being sure to arrive. Claim it as already yours. It will be brought to you by the power of the supreme intelligence acting upon the minds of men. If you live in Maine, it may be that a man will be brought from Texas or Japan to engage in some transaction which will result in your getting what you want. If so, the whole matter will be as much to that man's advantage as it is to yours.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jack Canfield, and I'm excited to let you know that I'm going to be part of the Brainathon that's
What
coming
is
up with
going
John
on?
Assaraf.
Do not forget for a moment that the thinking substance is through all, in all, communicating with all, and can influence all. The desire of thinking substance for fuller life and better living has caused the creation of all the sewing machines already made, and it can cause the creation of millions more and will, whenever men set it in motion by desire and faith and by acting in a certain way. You can certainly have a sewing machine in your house, and it is just as certain that you can have any other thing or things which you want and which you will use for the advancement of your life and the lives of others. You need not hesitate about asking largely. It is your Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom, said Jesus. Original substance wants to live all that is possible in you and wants you to have all that you can or will use for the living of the most abundant life. If you fix upon your consciousness the fact that the desire you feel for the possession of riches is one with the desire of omnipotence for more complete expression, your faith becomes invincible. Once I saw a little boy sitting at a piano and vainly trying to bring harmony out of the keys, and I saw that he was grieved and provoked by his inability to play real music. I asked him the cause of his vexation, and he answered, "I can feel the music in me, but I can't make my hands go right." The music in him was the urge of original substance, containing all the possibilities of all life. All that there is of music was seeking expression through the child. God, the one substance, is trying to live and do and enjoy things through humanity. He is saying, I want hands to build wonderful structures, to play divine harmonies, to paint glorious pictures. I want feet to run my errands, eyes to see my beauties, tongues to tell mighty truths, and to sing marvelous songs, and so on. All that there is of possibility is seeking expression through men. God wants those who can play music to have pianos and every other instrument, and to have the means to cultivate their talents to the fullest extent. He wants those who can appreciate beauty to be able to surround themselves with beautiful things. He wants those who can discern truth to have every opportunity to travel and observe. He wants those who can appreciate dress to be beautifully clothed, and those who can appreciate good food to be luxuriously fed. He wants all these things because it is himself that enjoys and appreciates them. It is God who wants to play and sing and enjoy beauty and proclaim truth and wear fine clothes and eat good foods. It is God that worketh in you to will and to do, said Paul.
I want to show you a side hustle gold mine. No, it's not what you think. And I'm not on Upwork looking for a job. I'm here.
The desire you feel for riches is the infinite, seeking to express himself in you as he sought to find expression in the little boy at the piano. So you need not hesitate to ask largely. Your part is to focalize and express the desire to God. This is a difficult point with most people. They retain something of the old idea that poverty and self-sacrifice are pleasing to God. They look upon poverty as a part of the plan, a necessity of nature. They have the idea that God has finished his work and made all that he can make, and that the majority of men must stay poor because there is not enough to go around. They hold to so much of this erroneous thought that they feel ashamed to ask for wealth. They try not to want more than a very modest competence, just enough to make them fairly comfortable. I recall now the case of one student who was told that he must get in mind a clear picture of the things he desired so that the creative thought of them might be impressed on formless substance. He was a very poor man, living in a rented house and having only what he earned from day to day. And he could not grasp the fact that all wealth was his. So, after thinking the matter over, he decided that he might reasonably ask for a new rug for the floor of his best room and an anthracite coal stove to heat the house during the cold weather. Following the instructions given in this book, he obtained these things in a few months. And then it dawned upon him that he had not asked enough. He went through the house in which he lived and planned all the improvements he would like to make in it. He mentally added a bay window here and a room there, until it was complete in his mind as his ideal home, and then he planned its furnishings. Holding the whole picture in his mind, he began living in a certain way and moving toward what he wanted. And he owns the house now and is rebuilding it after the form of his mental image. And now, with still larger faith, he is going on to get greater things. It has been unto him according to his faith, and it is so with you and with all of us.
Sorry for the advertising, but someone's making money. That was funny. That was funny. I'm like, should I apologize for these commercials? I don't know. Someone's paying me money. I maybe not. That's going to be the course after we finish this one. All right. So I only had a couple of comments on this one. How many of you are willing to admit that if you believe in a higher power, that higher power does not want you living the best life you could live? Where I think this comes more than anywhere is, again, those people that are walking around with the they t-shirt. You know what I mean? What would people think if I got a nicer home and I was traveling and I got a new car and I was doing all these things? It's like, you know, because sometimes people are a part of a belief, and the people that are in that belief, you know, might have a thinking that, you know, the meek inherit the earth, you know? So it's like, the thing I love, and the other comments I like to make here is, you know, I don't make deals. I remember when I first heard this, you know, where I hung around a few friends that would say never pay retail. So isn't it hilarious that there are certain beliefs that believe that you got to haggle? It was brought up in their whole entire life. It's their tradition, you know. So, you know, I even heard a friend years ago, and it was a funny joke, but, you know, the person that he said it to wasn't a joke. So this gentleman is Jewish, right? And he turned around and he just said, well, so maybe I should convert to Judaism, because then I could focus on having a very rich life, a very successful life. And he was sort of joking, because he was looking at converting to Judaism because of the wealth that would come with that. He didn't have any idea that, you know, what he was basically saying is that one belief believes in abundance while the other belief doesn't believe in abundance. Does that make sense to you guys? And the same thing with the haggling, you know what I mean? So my wife always would ask me, I go in to buy certain things, and I don't try to haggle. You know what I mean? I just go in and I go, I know where the cash is coming from. So there's really no need for me to do that. There's no need for me to try to get a person down on the price. And the other thing is that the wealthiest people in the world, I love this by J. Paul Getty. J. Paul Getty said a statement, becoming successful and wealthy is the easiest thing in the world to do. And here's the reason why. No one else is trying. Are you kidding me? And so when you follow some of these chapters and it says, all you got to do is give people more in value than what they're paying. To always provide more value than what the person is doing. And that sometimes becomes frustrating, because I know a lot of us believe sometimes that whatever business or opportunity that we're in is worth so much more than what the person is actually doing. You know what I mean? And it's still just sorting, finding the right people at the right time. And last statement is, again, when you're talking about the whole concept is shoot for the moon and land on the skyscraper. You know what I mean? Is whatever you're thinking, you got to think bigger. Whatever you're thinking, you got to think bigger. And you got to consistently put that out there. And me, just like a human, when I set my next goal, right, that I want to have $10 million sitting in my checking account, my business checking account. When I say that, even this morning, I put the picture in a couple of places. You know, I watched The Secret and I thought, hey, if Jack Canfield, that popped up on this commercial, isn't that pretty funny? If Jack Canfield could put a check up on his ceiling, you know, sometimes the littlest things in the world. So I took the picture that I shared with you guys yesterday. For those of you that are good at graphics, I just took a screenshot of my online banking and put different numbers in there. So now I got one where I can always see it in my office. I got one where I can see it in my living room. I got one where, when I'm, pardon my language, when I'm sitting on the toilet, being the thinking man, it's right there on the mirror. and also when I'm laying in bed and I look up. So a lot of you might think those things are silly, but I'm the kind of person that if it worked for someone, I'll do it. And that's really how simple it is for me. I'm not the kind of person that is in lack, and when someone that is out of lack says they're doing something, I just don't go, oh, that's stupid. Or I don't need to do that. I did that. So I think I showed some of you yesterday where, you know, I did this. This is our corporate account. And so what I did is I just, you know, put some numbers in there. And I know some of you are going to think that's silly. And then some people are going to watch this video sometime in the future and they're going, wow, I guess his number was too small. So, because I know as I get there, you know, I know how much I give away. You know, 10% is a starting point. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, why not 90%? Why not more? So there we go. Craig, you have any words? Matt, you have any words?
Matt, do you want to go?
I'm going to add stuff later on. I'm busy working on something.
All right. Sounds good. Actually, yes, I kind of have something that I wanted to share, and I saw a post on Twitter, and it relates to Mr. Bob Proctor because Bob has obviously been an influential part of the science of getting rich. In other words, it influenced him, and he has shared it with so many people. And one of the things that he said, which is exactly what we're kind of talking about, and in this chapter too, especially, and I'm going to repeat the very last paragraph. One of the things he said is every major accomplishment started with a dream. And we've been talking about daydreaming and things like that. And I want to reiterate that last paragraph that we heard today. Holding the whole picture in his mind, he began living in the certain way and moving toward what he wanted. And he owns the house now and is rebuilding it after the form of his mental image. And now, with still larger faith, he is going on to get greater things. It has been unto him according to his faith, and it is so with you and all of us.
Excellent.
It's a perfect way to finish up this chapter and to start thinking, you know what? Visualize. And you, Robert, are a big person in sharing visualization.
Always.
So that to me was, among other things, being fair in your business dealings and being patient enough to receive the things that you desire. Those are important too. But to me, starting with the dream, seeing it, visualizing it, going for it, if you build it, he will come.
Very good, Craig. I agree. Thank you.
So with that, thank you for allowing me to share with you. We have 3 hands raised. I see Bill, Lisa Marie, and Angela. And if you want to raise your hand and share, I put it in the chat for Zoom. Very simple to do. Just put your cursor in the middle of the screen where you see all of these videos. On the bottom is a button that says reactions. Click on the raise hand button that next appears, and it will notify us that you want to share with us. For those of you that are on YouTube, we'll watch, we'll monitor, and share appropriately. So I see more hands coming up. This is going to be great. Let's open it up, and please share with all of us as it relates to Chapter 6 of The Science of Getting Rich, How Riches Come to You. We're going to start with Bill Shoemaker, who had his hand raised first. So, Bill, please open up, unmute, and share.
Thank you, Craig. You're awesome, brother. That was a great share, too, by the way. Thank you for that. And Robert, you are amazing. And I think I'm going to do the bank account thing as well. Now, it's funny. I have an app on my phone, The Secret, where it's a secret about money. You have a checking account and they give you money, you spend it. They give you more money, you spend it. And it never worked for me because in my head I always said, well, this isn't real. And that's what I got to get past is using your imagination and believing that it's real before it actually happens. So great.
Yeah, I think today I seen that Craig was Craig's always on it, man, but he sent a link from The Secret where you could actually create a check. And the reason that I did my bank account, you guys, took a picture and sort of used Canva. Canva is a free software. Is most of us get paid digitally now. Most people, get direct deposits, and so if you still get paid by a check, I'm sure you could do it. I'm sure that I know that the IRS still sends checks, but I guess they do direct deposit as well. So pretty awesome. So yeah, Bill, my wife and I are the kind of people that we'll do it all. We'll do it all. I'm not the kind of person that needs to figure out why something may or may not work. That's
hanging around you. That's why I'm doing it, because I go, well, Robert's doing it. I got to do it. I have a testimony.
Okay.
Okay. My cooling system in my house broke, and I'm always the jack of all trades, master of none. So I went to Ace Hardware to pick up some parts, and they didn't really have exactly what I wanted. And I was looking at the hardware guy, you know, the helpful hardware man. And I go, I didn't know. I said, I've got this figured out. I don't need any of your parts. And I didn't have it figured out, but for some reason I knew that I had it figured out. And on the way home, I had the parts in my house to fix that cooling system.
Awesome. Yeah.
It was like from the universe, just boom. So testimony.
Thanks for sharing that. I love little miracles all day. I think that people are always looking for the big miracles when, you know, like Einstein says, you either can believe that everything's a miracle or nothing's a miracle. And so when I see little things come together, even the sun shining through a window a certain way, or you know, me figuring out something and doing things, I just love that. And it's pretty amazing how we can see little stuff in our head. You know, it's like you know, I wanted to another thing that my wife came up with, she's always coming up with neat stuff, is she said, and if you guys want it, send me a private message. I'll put it up on Google Drive. But I looked all over the internet and I found an 8-hour meditation. And Terry just said, listen, you know, there's apps on a phone. Why don't you don't just use your phone, plug it in so it doesn't run out, and why not listen to the meditation all night? And so I did my due diligence, found a meditation I could listen to. If some of you are like me, you know, I'm joking when I say this, but I'm sort of not, is I'm the kind of person that, you know, would rather travel with a box fan. And then all of a sudden someone, you know, I'll go to some place and I'll get a box fan. And then all of a sudden someone shared this app with me. It's a free app. You don't pay anything for it, but it's called a sleep app. And then I seen a deal where they not only had a fan in it, but then I learned to put it in a glass. So if you put it in a big glass, the speaker makes it echo. And so then I got my fan blowing. Okay. So all of a sudden, we're listening to this meditation, and I don't need that anymore. So listening to the meditation music, I was one of those people that would make up the stupid excuse that now that's bothering me. You know, people are talking or things are going on. I need it really, really quiet. And then now all of a sudden the fans and everything are replaced by listening to, I can even show you guys, an 8-hour meditation. You guys hear it? No? I don't know where my speakers are.
No, I think there's a setting that we need to work on for that one, Robert.
All right. But anyway, you know, but right away when you say, well, I want to find this, and you sort of put it out there, I just think that sometimes we think that we don't realize that every day we figure out stuff all day, every day by just thinking. All right. So where could I find this 8-hour meditation? I spent some time on the internet. I found it. Once I found it, then there's these little things. Well, how do I get it offline to be able to listen to it? And then I went on Amazon and bought this little speaker. You know what I mean? That Bluetooth to the phone. And some of you are going, yeah, I've seen those. You know, so it's pretty interesting how we figure out little things all the time, but we just mentally just say, well, you know, like Bill said, you know, it's like, well, you know what? I need this fixed. And we usually go through the difficult and struggle. And how many people have you seen try to fix something? And it's like a cuss word that's coming out of their mouth like every other word. and they're struggling, they're all upset and they can't figure out how this works. These are people like I used to be that never ever took the time to sort of just be quiet for a little minute. Actually think about it and be quiet and be still and be in the now and allow ideas to come to you. You know what I mean? So we've all done that before and with all kinds of things, but we just keep forgetting with the big things. The big things work just like the little things.
I would also like to add, Robert, that I've been sleeping a lot better since we've been doing this master class. And
I was going to say, oh my God, doing this, I've never had better sleep.
it's amazing.
Yeah. So
And
thank you so much, Bill.
I finished a garden that I wanted to start this morning, and I was beating myself up saying that, you could be doing more productive things in your business. But I realized that when I was doing that garden, I was meditating, and it was like I needed to do that. Why? Why did I need to do that, Robert?
Because we're always daydreaming.
To feel good.
Yes. Yes.
To feel good.
Get in the feel good place and just constantly be daydreaming. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. Love you, Robert.
You bet. Love you.
Thank you so much, Bill. Yeah. And yeah, meditation. I love that. Robert, you were the one that inspired me to get the Bose headphones, with the noise canceling.
Yeah.
Okay. And there have been times where in my meditations, not only do I listen to the 6-phase meditation, but sometimes there's just so much going on that I turn it on with nothing.
Just the noise cancellation.
Just the noise cancellation.
Yeah.
And just sit there and relax and let my thoughts go. And it's amazing when you can do that, even with maybe a little bit of noise in the background, like you're saying.
Yeah.
What things come to you when you open up, and that's what phase 6 of the 6-phase meditation.
Right.
Is once you've done everything up to that point, now let it come to you and feel it come through your body. So,
yes.
Wow. Lisa Marie, I see your hand is up. Please open up and share with us. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
Blessed and highly favored. How are you?
I am as well, and
Awesome.
on top of the moon. So, I don't know if you recall, but ever since I started with you, and everybody focuses on the visualization, you got to be able to, and I always struggled with that. And I still was I could never get past like half or 3/4 of my perfect day. I mean, that's as far as I could go. And then I just quick end it with something stupid because I couldn't think of anything. But anyway, this morning, for some reason, I'm writing in my journal and my perfect day just flowed right out from beginning to end. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Lisa, again, we as human beings, when I said we, I didn't say you. I said we as human beings. How many of you struggle with visualization? Okay. Everybody's got a camera on, has got their hands up. All right. What you got to sort of bring the visualization back to, if each and every one of you would do this, is if you can close your eyes and see any event at all, Lisa Marie. Find something that, like you playing softball. Go back to something in your life that not only can you see it, but it's like in color and it gives you joy. And see, that's a place where you know that you dream, right?
Yeah.
And some people say, well, yeah, I dream. I dream. I've had dreams. Great. Then that's called visualization. So for me, it's easy for me to go into an event or something that has happened in my life that's very vivid, that's full of emotion, that's, and then all of a sudden my mind goes, oh, so that's what you're trying to do. for me, Lisa Marie,
Yeah.
even today, if you just said, okay, visualize the place that you want to be in on your perfect day. Nothing. So I don't want you to think of it as struggle. It's like, okay, so what is something that I know that I can just relax and close my eyes and absolutely see?
Yeah, bye. Sorry.
No problem. That I absolutely can see. Another way of practicing is focus on a picture. Focus on anything.
Mhm.
And what you can do is you can just focus on something and just stare at it and then close your eyes and you can see it.
I
All
can
right?
so see it. I can so
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
And you know, I was going back and forth for the longest time with the rescue farm here or helping kids with mindfulness. I want to catch them like that from 8 to 15. I want to bring them here to a retreat. We have 4 seasons on our land. I mean, we can do so many things. And just to get their paradigm switch before
Yeah.
they're permanently, but I could do both. I figured out a way to do both.
We can do it all. We can do it all, Lisa. So I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Well,
Everybody give
well,
Lisa
you know,
a
and I didn't
woo.
figure it out yet, but I can see it. I can see it happening. So I
Yep.
don't need to figure out all the details.
The elephant one bite at a time.
And I am going to Humane Society tomorrow to volunteer so I can learn what I have to do to get that here.
I'm
So
proud of you. I'm
yeah.
proud of you, Lisa.
Thanks.
Love you. Love you so
Love
much.
you.
Awesome.
Love you.
There again, visualization. And
Some people call it imagination, you know, but it's like, you know, that song that we talked about, you know, daydream, you know, why save us for sleep? You know, have any of you ever in your life? I know it's just me. I that's why I'm bringing it up. You probably know some people, but there's certain songs that I get go in my head. And it's like, I don't know why my mind will put me in front of an audience and, you know, get to play a little bit of air guitar or, you know, so, you know, it is pretty funny if you can really allow your imagination, you know, like you're watching something and, you know, all of a sudden someone's got, one thing that I just heard the other day is this guy was like, a college basketball player, and I don't remember who it was, but he had three, you know, last second buzzer beaters, you know what I mean, in the tournament. And they walked up to him and they said, wow. And they're going like, man, you know, that's what Michael Jordan was known for. He could always pull it out. You know what I mean? And he goes, I can't tell you how many times I've done that drill in my head. You know, there's 2.6 seconds left. You know, they're 1 point behind. They can lose it. It's all based on this point. And he's like doing the narrating and the imagination in his head. And he gets past the ball. It's clicking down 3, 2, 1. It's good. It's good. And sometimes depending on your sport or whatever, but it's just pretty amazing that you can actually imagine stuff like that. Maybe it's something else, you know what I mean? But really go back to, you know, I love that first line is, you know, we're in the backyard playing astronauts and rock stars. No one seemed to care. You know what I mean? It's like when you see children, they got imagination. And then we become adults and they tell you to put the imagination away, stop being a daydreamer. And it's like, so yeah, thank you, Lisa. That was awesome.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Let's move on to Angela Castleman. I see your hand raised. There we go. And please unmute and share with us.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I just
Hi,
wanted to
Angela.
make I just wanted to make a comment of what you said earlier about abundant mindset and not abundant mindset. And so as you know, I'm not working. And someone said, yeah, I told somebody, I'm like, yeah, I have plans. I'm going out. I'm going to do this. And this person said to me, they're like, how are you living the high life? And we're all still working and not being able to do anything. And I just sat there and looked and I'm like, that's all.
I'm telling you, it's like I don't know. People don't believe that you can live like this. And there wasn't it always the funny thing that they used to always tell people is like, well, we can live on love. You know what I mean? All we need is love. Isn't there a song like that? I don't know if a popular
Beatles,
band,
all you need is love.
yeah, I don't know if a popular band like would come up with a song like that. But what I love about people is when people find out what they really want to do in life. Haven't we all heard this phrase, Angela? It's like, listen, if you love what you do, you never work another day in your life. And so, so some people hate what they do, and some people decide, well, I'd rather just do what I want to do. You know what I mean? And people don't understand that. They hopefully they will become awake. But it's when you're doing stuff for other people, it's pretty amazing. So thank you for sharing that. Oh, she's muted out.
Okay. Angela, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And let's move on. I see Karen Owens has her hand raised. So hi, Karen. Go ahead, unmute yourself, please, and share with
Karen.
us.
Am I there?
You're there.
Ah. Well, hello, everybody. Shy, quiet, and very reserved northern Minnesota born Finnish woman, 100%, 3 generations. She finally gets up the nerve to raise her hand.
I'm proud of you. Woo!
But I just wanted, I want to say that I get so much energy from people. That's kind of like my little superpower. One of my sisters analyzed me. She says, Karen, you're like a sponge. You gather energy from people, and that's what feeds on your energy. And that's what's been happening with this group.
Excellent.
So a few specifics. I want to thank when I saw some of the asks going on about calendars and following things and not listening to this and that. I mean, I served in the military and did all this stuff for 30 some years. And when I listen to discipline, I pay attention. And I started with my calendar and everything. I said, this is so simple. Yes, the meditations are awesome. Just like John said, oh my gosh, how many more hours is this thing going to go on? Well, it was like that at first, but then it's like, I tell you, my whole schedule has changed. And it's all done so positively. I share my home and my life with my hubby Doug of almost 35 years now, and one little dog. And he's seen a change in me. He's not said too much. He's very quiet. He's like, gosh, he gets up at 4:30 in the morning now. I mean, we're in our 70s. We know each other pretty well.
Yeah.
But I literally was able to change my schedule to say the God memorandum at night before I go to bed at 10:30ish, 11, and then 4:35, whatever time the dog kicks me out of my bed and I got to get up, and then she and I get up and I recline out in my recliner, and I have the dark room, and I have prayer, and I have meditation and a little pudding. And I have 3 hours in the morning to myself, and I really, really love my alone time. But
awesome.
So
Karen,
the breakthroughs.
Karen, I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. I hope you're proud of yourself.
I feel really good. I honestly do.
Yeah.
And it's breakthroughs that have happened. My husband's medical situation, which we won't go into, but very serious stuff that was going on. It happened right after he really saw the last doctors and everything. And I felt like now I can clear my way to take care of me in a better way because he's going to be okay. And I need to be there with him.
Amen.
So that's very good. But
well, thank you. Well, thank you so much for your service to allow us to be free enough to be able to do this. And I thank you for your service. And I'm so happy and proud that you shared with us. Thank you.
Yeah. So according to this last chapter, though, to go to the visualization, when riches will come to you or whatever, so much has opened up since I've opened up again and kind of got off the shell. I know I shared with you my Finnish friend that's in Minnesota. I sent you that. Well, things are falling into place like I cannot hardly believe. Okay, I said I was born in Duluth, Minnesota.
Right.
So my friend Steve, who's from the Iron Range and plays the accordion like my dad with a deep voice and great music and everything. He just announced on his, and he and I are friends now, and he just announced on Facebook that he was moving to Duluth.
Wow.
All my connections, where I was born, the Finnish festival and all this stuff. Okay, that's all going on, but we're communicating. And so that happened. And I don't know, it's just, I'm kind of going on here, but I feel like I've had.
Thank you for sharing. It is such a blessing to actually be alive. You know, most people stop dreaming when we get that first job that we don't like, and we just go, man, is there anything else to life? And it just turns into a flipping grind, and it's just same crap, different day. You know what I mean? And
well, it's almost never been that way for me, Steve. I come from a family, big dreamers. I mean, my dad's a big dreamer, and you know, he took our family from Minnesota to Washington, D.C. when computers first came online. I mean, I was definitely double dared, being the oldest of 8 kids, to have to do the things that sometimes I didn't want to do, but I had to do to help my brothers and sisters and stuff. So the helpfulness and things that are going to connect with the foundations and actually getting the word out. This is what I'm circling back to. John, you just broke me up about the hospital story. Oh my goodness. And you know, there's so many things to be done in that area, and pets and dogs. I have one last rescue girl, and she's 10, and I've really did find her on Facebook and almost 9 years ago, and cried to my husband at Walmart that we have to go get this dog. She's on Facebook. Well, she can't be anywhere near us, 2 miles from the house.
Wow.
We went and got her that day, and she's our baby. So there's lots of rescue opportunities here, connecting in with people in Atlanta, and the whole business of hospital and special needs, because of our heritage in Finnish. And there is a rare disease thing that happens neurologically with some of the children, only 1,000 cases in the world. And my youngest sister, my niece, who is 20, who's going to age out of all the things that are going on with school. As a young adult, my sister's dream is to be able to find a community and work communities, and I found a community that is doing that with neurologically challenged young adults, productive. So it's not that I can't even pick one thing. I mean, there's so many that are just flying at me. They're flying at me.
Well, Karen, thank you so much for sharing, man. Thank you. How many people are happy for Karen?
So we're all moving forward. We're all supporting each other. And I wrote down my list, what I had to talk to, but I mean, yes, there's so many different charities and things. And there's just every day is a new day and new excitement. And I have not worked for an employer since I retired from my government job 15 years ago. 15 years. Think of what I could have been doing in 15 years, but travel, doing this, doing that. So now I have new energy to embrace these things going forward. And I'm here to be a resource, a helper in any way I can, military connections and stuff like that. But Atlanta, Georgia, 30 minutes from the airport and anywhere in the world. That's why I said living in Atlanta was fantastic. So
nice hub.
a few million people.
Yeah.
But thank you, everybody. And I'll give it back to you, Robert, and
All right.
everybody else. Thank you for everybody.
I'm so proud of you. Super, super proud of you.
All right. Corky, I see your hand is up, but I don't see you because there's no light in front of you like there was the last few days. So is it okay? I'm going to come back to you. We're going to move on to John Tier, who has his hand up. So Corky, hang on. We're going to get to you. Appreciate that. John, let's go ahead and go over to you. Unmute yourself, please, and share with us.
Oh, look, Corky's got a light on now. Go ahead back.
All right. Well, then, Corky, switch. Please go ahead, Corky, unmute yourself and share with us.
Hi there. Hi there.
Corky, how are you?
I've been experimenting with different characters. That's why I was all blacked out. I didn't realize I showed up. In my picture, I could see just my beard and hair with a candle going in the back.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, we couldn't see you. You look like a black bear at dark.
Okay. Hey, I have a question, but I also I have a face mask that I use at night that has speakers and it's Bluetooth, so I don't interrupt my wife or keep her up. And you can I got them on Amazon. It's just like a regular blackout if you wanted to take a nap or something. And it's got little speakers in it, Bluetooth right to your phone. It's really cool. I do that quite often, not every night, but quite often. One thing that I've noticed big time lately is that I catch myself, and I'd like you to talk about a little bit on how when you're dreaming like that. I woke up several times last night thinking of walking into an orphanage, walking into the hospital in my Santa stuff with a team behind us and just applauding and excited for the kids. And, one fortunate thing I get is I get to see faces every day of kids lighting up in front of me. And I have little coins I hand out, but there's just nothing like that to see that light up happen. But when you're dreaming like that, and what happens through my day is I find out how limiting conversations I have with myself now that I never did before. Limiting thoughts that, wait a minute. No, I can do better than that. No, that's not the way that it's going to be today. Or,
right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, those are just, I don't think those ever go away. Because we're human beings, there's always these, thoughts. If thoughts are things, all right, then we get on that frequency, and it's like listening to a radio station and listening to your favorite song. And then all of a sudden it just seems to fade out for a second and come back. Mm-hmm. Or it actually goes to another channel. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, I come back, and then, it comes back. So there's these constant things that are just out there that really distract people. And to me, all they are is not only are we just human, sort of like the bad thoughts that we talked about, where it's like, why am I thinking that? And it's just more of, to me, where I just think, I believe that's just being human. Just being human. And for me, it's like, I don't know, it's I know that I probably have taught this exercise before, but I don't know if I have on this series. But there's this little thing that I learned one time that, what you do is if I asked everyone here, you can do it in your mind. And I'm just going to ask you to just count from 1 to 10. And all of a sudden, let's say you start right now. So we all go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is your name? Tell me what your name is. And say, you'll notice that people will stop counting, even though I didn't tell you to stop counting, because you heard the next instruction. And so, Corky, when you have those limiting thoughts or bad thoughts or whatever, it's an opportunity for me to reaffirm who I am and what I'm doing, and I use my mouth to do it.
Oh, yeah.
So the thought happens and I'm going, yeah, that's stupid. That's not going to happen. In fact, what I'm going to do is blah, blah, blah. Right. And it's like me, because I'm a believer, man, I got my favorite quotes and verses and stuff. It's like, stronger is he that's in me than he is in the world. And I'm well and I'm whole. You know what I mean? And it's just like, so I'm constantly doing whatever you want to call that. It just allows me to reaffirm on an audible basis, so my mind gets to hear who's in control. Mm-hmm. So I thank you for bringing that up, because I know a lot of people sometimes, like, they'll get mad. They'll get mad at themselves, like we've already talked about in this series. They get mad because a thought come to them, and then what they do is they focus on that thought, and then they're down another rabbit hole, and they didn't realize that it was 10 minutes, an hour. Wait a minute. It was a day. It was 2 days. It was like a month. It was like 5 years. People go down these things, and they just, listen, get back to what's important. Get back to what gives you joy. Get back. And here's another one, Corky, that just got downloaded to me. And for those of you that are not believers, please just hang on a little bit, listen to the story. But don't you think it's pretty amazing that when Jesus had disciples, that apparently they're sitting around, they might be talking about something, they might be masterminding, and then Jesus said, would get up and they go, where are you going? Well, I'm going to go pray. I'll be right back. Mm-hmm. Why didn't he ever say, why don't we all pray? Because I believe, just like in the boat, my version of it, not being sacrilegious at all, but it's like the storm's coming, water's coming in the boat. And like we just talked about with meditation and stuff, it's like they got to wake up Jesus. You know what I mean? That's meditation. That's peace of mind. So the storm is so scary and the winds are so bad and the waves are so bad that everyone thinks they're going to die. So they got to wake up Jesus. And Jesus is first, after he commands for the winds to be still, he gets mad at them. And he's like, why didn't you guys open up your mouth and do what I just did? Why did you need the little thoughts to creep in? We're going to die. Oh my God, the water's coming in the boat. We're not going to make it. Oh my God, panic. You got to wake up Jesus. And he stands up, storm be still. And he's like, you guys have been hanging around me for a long time. Why couldn't one of you do that? Because we're human. All right, I'm going back to bed.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's pretty interesting, Corky. If you look through every story and every life and hero's journey, it's like everyone always struggles with their thoughts. Mm-hmm. They always struggle with their thoughts. The first thing that we do is we're embarrassed by our thoughts. So then what we do is we exclude, not exclude. What's the other thing? We sort of separate ourselves from people, because we feel ashamed of who we are and that we can't control these little thoughts. We seclude ourselves. Is that the word? Isolate. Thank you. We isolate ourselves. And then what we do is we take it to the next level, which we just have bad thoughts on top of the bad thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bad thoughts behind the bad thoughts cause procrastination and feeling sorry for ourselves. So now we know, well, during times like this, I should be meditating, or maybe I should go for a walk, or maybe I should call and connect with somebody that could pull me out of this funk. No, we're not going to do that. And then we don't even realize that we start channel surfing. And then what do we do when we channel surf? We find the most depressing stuff we can find on TV. And it's like, thoughts are things. We just realize that we're using it in the opposite direction. You see what I mean? We keep making thoughts and we keep doing things to make our situation worse, because sometimes that's just who we are. And I remember Corky saying one more thing. When I first learned about bad thoughts and dark times in my life, it just makes the good times that much better.
Mm-hmm.
Because there has to be a yin and yang in the world. There's got to be, we wouldn't be so joyful about light if there wasn't darkness. And so for our minds and who we are sometimes, getting in struggles and bad situations, then it just makes the victories more glorious. It just makes the joy more glorious. So, when we pop out on the other end and everything is clicking for us, then all of a sudden it becomes more magnifying for us because of the dark times that we experienced. So my sons have always seen me, go through things that would normally just, oh my God, as a family, we would be like, maybe, we one time were driving and went through this big dip. I don't even know why the dip was in the freeway. And it blew 2 tires at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And so we're in the Escalade and it just went wham. And then it went wham. And then it got worse. And when it came down, it popped 2 tires. Well, everybody knows you got 1 spare. And I'm like, hey, listen, we're not in a hurry. I don't know what we're being protected from. Now we get to take a break. We're going to get a record. They're going to take care of this. There's no problem. And it's like, why can you be so calm with stuff like this? And not being mean to anybody here, but every moment, not in a locked up prison cell, is a good time for me.
Right.
It's like, I have this reflection thing that I get to go about, you know what I mean? And so any time not in that bad situation is a pretty simple time. It's like, I'm very grateful. And then I'm always like consistently thinking when stuff happens, I'm always wondering, how is the universe and the powers to be stopping me from getting into something that could have been worse for my family? So I'm always grateful, whether people would look at it bad at that time or not bad at that time. So,
right.
That help you, Corky?
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome,
Makes
man.
sense. I just want to say one more thing. Can you welcome Carmen in here? Carmen is in here. If you see her, if you run across, you'll see Carmen right there.
Okay. Hi, Carmen.
Yeah, she's my assistant on TikTok, and she's in here. She's been very, very, very big part of me growing on TikTok. And she's been one of those, because the TikTok views, things are really changing in TikTok. Everything's just kind of slowing way down. And she's been the one there going, Santa, you can't do that. It's coming back. God's got this thing. We have a mission to do here. And she's so helpful. And she's just got that uplifting spirit, just a beautiful, beautiful human being inside and out. So I just wanted to welcome her in here. I'm so excited that she's here.
All right. Awesome. Great to have you here. That is so awesome.
Thank you so much, Corky. Appreciate that. And just as a reminder for those of you that are watching on YouTube, please like the video, subscribe to our channel if you have not done so. The buttons are right there. Also, for those of you that are subscribing or even haven't fully subscribed, here's why I mean fully subscribed. There's a little notification bell that is next to the subscribe button. Click on that so every time that we go live or we post a new video, you know about it. And then, of course, please share this video as well as everything with everyone. So we appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Okay, John. You know what? Thank you very much, John, for allowing us to move over to Corky before we get to you. So go ahead, open up your microphone. Deborah, you're coming up. John, please share.
There we go. All right. Ooh-wee. I tell you, man, this particular chapter here reminded me of something that his name, doggone, I lost the comedian's name, Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey said with the interview with Oprah, when he was talking about how he wrote out his check for $1 million. And then he said, but then, you can't just go eat a sandwich. You had to do something.
Right.
So that's what this kind of reminded me of. It's not just a visualization, but then you go in and put in, just take the necessary steps to make those things come true. And so that was my first point. Next thing is, Robert, all around me, signs had been going on, and I really missed the signs until the other day. And then today I was thinking about, I was like, wow, wait, all these things have kind of been working in conjunction and hit me in the head. And I'm not realizing that, hey, you're in this area. You just have to like open your eyes and ears to hear. And,
Right.
I'll tell you how they work. So, I told you about when I was in the hospital. Well, when my son was younger, it came to my mind recently. Today I was thinking about it. My son got sick and he went to that same hospital.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was one thing. The next thing was, last year, my son's birthday and I were 7 days apart. Now, I've never talked to my son ever about St. Jude, but he put on for his birthday for Facebook, charity to St. Jude.
Wow.
Right. Okay. So the next thing is, my daughter got her master's degree in health administration. Now, these are things that is kind of going around. I have a cousin who's a doctor, who just became a doctor. She studied medicine in Cuba. And I've always had a dream, and I told my daughter about this. I told you, you're going to run a hospital. I wanted to also create a hospital called Patients First. And what kind of inspired me about that is, I used to work in a hospital. I worked for a company that was called MedAssist, and we'd help people get, when they didn't have insurance, we'd go up and talk to the patients and all of that. But to get that particular program, they wanted you to be poor, miserable, and broke.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart, man, because I talked to this lady, and she said all her life she had been saving her money. And before she could get assistance for her health, they wanted her to sell her house. They wanted her to get rid of all of her assets just so she could, get on a program. I was like, man, that's just, that's crazy to me. But that's just something in the back of my mind. A pastor once told me that if you have a burden for something, then that's where your ministry is.
Yes.
And I was like, wow. And I never really thought about all of that. I was like, wow, all these things have been swirling around me, saying, here, this is what you need to do. I'm going, no, I need to do that. No. I want the wheel. So that's what I wanted to say, man. It's just
it's like when you're in the zone, when you're in the right place, everything is just serendipitous. It just really is. today, my wife and I every Sunday watch Sunday Morning. You know what I mean? It seems like probably like the only positive thing that's on. I'm sure there's other positive things are on, but it showed these two people that they were just blown away in New York, I guess, how crazy the 99.1%, the Occupy Wall Street, how big that got. And they just went, I just didn't have a clue that it was this big. And so they just started randomly asking people, and they were just saying that their number one debt for almost everyone that filed bankruptcy was medical bills.
See?
And so these guys, I wish if you guys go on, Sunday Morning and check, but we don't get to hear the good things that are happening in this world. And so these guys put together, and these two men had one of the largest debt collecting companies on the planet. So they would reach out to people and they'd buy their debt. And when they buy their debt, then they go collect the debt, and that's how they make money. All right. So now the people that have all the bills in the hospitals and whatever, and they get to write it off on their taxes. And now they assume that debt for pennies on a dollar, like a dollar, they can get $100 debt for $1. You know what I mean? And so these guys came up with the concept that they're going to go to every medical place that had bills on people. And then they were going to find out the people that had bills and cancel them, because now they owe the debt. So they were finding people that had debt, medical bills. Then they would check out who they were because they had all their information. And when they found people that met certain, what they set up as far as poverty, that, their bill was X amount percentage of what they made per year, they just canceled the debt. And they canceled $5.8 billion in medical debt.
Wow.
And I just went, see, we don't get to hear stories like that. So they showed this one lady that her son had to go to the emergency room, and I think the bill was like $1,500. And she said it was just impossible to pay. And she says, all of a sudden, she said, I got the same thing, but it looked like in a different envelope. And she said, I opened it up and it said, this bill has been, I forget the word. It was funny. It's like, it's just been sponged or whatever. And it was gone. And she said, I just thought it was a total scam. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we get to hear about all the negative things in the world. And then you hear about people like these, people like this that are going out and buying debt, and just once they own it, now they can say, this zero, and cleaning up people's credit reports and helping them do all kinds of stuff. And I'm just going like, I that's why I love that show. There's people that are doing some pretty crazy things, and canceling $5.8 billion in debt for people with medical bills. That's pretty amazing. So
yeah, it is. That's awesome.
Thanks for sharing, John. Yeah, it is. It's like, if you look for signs, they're there. If you're in the right zone and you're paying attention, you'll constantly get things. And going back to Corky a little bit, it's like sometimes I feel like the universe, and I don't want to sound weird here, but it's like sometimes the universe is like questioning us if we really want our dreams.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So John's talking about the positive side, where now that he's stepping into his dreams and into the thing that he's called to do, his ministry, it's like now he's seeing signs everywhere. It's like just so obvious. Oh my God, I never put this together. See, those are reconfirming signs that you're on the right track. See what I mean? And that just builds enthusiasm and excitement. But what they always say is that we're looking for the same color car.
Yeah.
See, we're mine now is, instead of focusing on the negative, is focus on the positive. Is like, listen, I'd like a little bit of validation for this big dream. And it's like, hey, I've been working behind the scenes the whole entire time. And so so John, it's funny that you covered the positive of the signs and the thoughts, that all of a sudden you're getting these light bulbs going off. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then Corky, to Corky, thank you for bringing it up. But, it's like sometimes the universe or the powers that be are like, are you really sure? It'd be so easy just to go back and just, it's just so easy, just to, forget the big dreams and just don't call is don't knock over the apple cart. How many of these stupid sayings are there? Don't rock the boat. I mean, it'd be neat. Matt's always using the AI, but it's like, if you put don't rock the boat, how many other sayings are like that? Where our people are just like, hey, listen, I'm just looking out. I'm just looking out for you. I don't want you to have too big of dreams and you get hurt.
Don't get your hopes up too high.
Yeah. That's the one that wasn't clicking for me. So John, thank you for sharing this. And as we all share, it's like, people are sending me messages like constantly, because we got a lot of people that are watching the replays, and they're like, dang, man, some of the stuff you guys are talking about is resonating me, and it's waking me up, and that's the deal. I think the biggest reason I wanted to do this series is just, when I come up with that subject and I was doing videos on learned helplessness, it sort of really upset me that there was things out there that people are purposely doing to not have hope, to just give up. Oh, Matt, send it to me quick, you guys, so I'll share them. Let a sleeping dog lie. Don't stir up troubles. Don't make waves. Don't upset the apple cart. Don't poke the bear.
Poke the bear, yeah.
Don't ruffle any feathers. Don't push your luck. Don't break status quo. Don't disturb the peace. Leave well enough alone. So,
see, all those are conformity things.
Yes. And man, well, I'll tell you what, if you ever step out in faith and start going for something bigger than you are, man, the people that are looking out for the best interest of you come out of the woodworks. Unfortunately, sometimes we're living with them. Sometimes they're our parents, sometimes they're our siblings, sometimes there's our spouses. It's like, why do you got to be dreaming all the time?
I like that meme with Shaq when he's got that picture. Every time some kind of day he's going,
yeah. So yeah. Okay, so I see we got a couple more hands. I'm gonna try my best to get out of here in like 4 minutes, you guys. There's a previous engagement I have with my wife, so
it's up to you if you want to go one or two more.
Let's see if we can't get it. Since they raised their hands, let's see if we can't make them quick. I believe in our abilities.
All right, let's do it. Deborah Bronner, let's go. Go ahead, unmute yourself, and please share. One more time, Deborah. There you go.
There. Did I get it? Hi, Robert and Craig and everyone else. Wow. I think I should call you Dr. Hollis today. This series is phenomenal. You said yesterday you thought it was some of your best work. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
I shared with Melody. I was thinking one of your favorite shows is Shark Tank, and there's a Mr. Wonderful there, but you're Mr. Awesome and amazing. There's no one like you.
I love you so much.
I love you so much. This has been so good for me. I gotta admit something that I stopped dreaming and I hadn't even realized it. I felt lately like I've just been existing. I'm not going to go. Well, I go to a surgeon tomorrow because I haven't been able to use my shoulder and arm and hand at all, my right one, or walk. So the surgeon's tomorrow. And last night, for the first time, I didn't sleep like the guys yesterday were saying, but I was dreaming. first time, all kinds of things that I could do, you know, if I just take action. I've always been an overcomer, and you know, I'm a spiritual gal, and I have a lot of faith that these stances I'm in, the injuries, that God will use them for his glory. And
Amen.
but I gotta keep fear away from faith, you know.
Yep.
It's hard. And I was trying to just do everything alone in my house, and I realized you've given me a family that I don't have anymore because they're in heaven.
Yes.
Thank you. I don't even know how to thank you enough. I don't want to take up the 4 minutes, but I'm sorry, Zoom wouldn't let me in on time, but I watch it from the very beginning. I'm just overwhelmed with how, if you put out the goodness and the light, it comes back.
It does.
I mean, I was not dreaming, just existing, and I need people. So I just want to thank you for being there.
Thank you, Deb.
You're awesome. Thank you.
I love you so much, and we're all going to believe that your surgery goes awesome, and the surgeon's hands will be guided. You'll have a speedy recovery, and I just know everything will go great.
Great. Thank you for that. Well, thank you everyone for listening to me. God bless.
Well, thanks. That's why
Bye-bye.
we're here. That's why we're here. Thank you, Deb.
Thank
Love
you.
you. Love you.
Love you.
Deborah, thank you so much. And, you know, everybody just put out some positive vibes for Deborah. Positive vibes. Okay. And Mary, I think we're going to squeeze you in. Yeah. Mary Valchik, thank you so much for waiting. Go ahead, unmute, and please share with us.
Okay, I'm from upstate New York, so I can talk really, really fast. So, Robert, you know how much you've already changed my life, and I'll be eternally grateful for that. But this series has just, I thought you were good before. Oh my freaking God, you're phenomenal. And this series is beyond words, and it has helped me even more. And one of the things that really touched me and made me move forward on some things was that you have to make room for the money to come. And so one of the things I am doing is I am getting a registered trademark, and what is the other thing? I don't remember what it is, but for my business that I want, which is the Last Chance Ranch for Dogs. Remember, I think we talked about that.
Yes.
So if I'm working on that, it's several $100s to get that, so that nobody else can take the name, and that will be the start of my forever dream. So thank you for pushing me for that, and this has been phenomenal. You're awesome. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I love and appreciate you so much, and I just love hearing those, because you guys all pushed me yesterday, you know, with like Corky, you know, it's like, so where do we give to the foundation? Where's the foundation? It's like, I'm like, see, I'm human just like the rest of you. And I'm like, well, you know, I always was going to create a foundation. Yeah, how about now? You know, no opportunity wasted. What do we, you know? So Corky, thank you so much, man. I love and appreciate you when you yesterday went, yeah, it's like, well, let's make those things happen now. So I didn't realize, but I should realize this, how many people that watch this live or recorded are thinking about doing stuff for animals. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be pretty cool when the foundation comes in and we start doing things to raise money for that, because there's no doubt in my mind that the first people that are going to be helped are the people that helped us. You know what I mean? It's going to be a win-win situation there. And every time I do stuff like this, I'm like, you know, how many of you think that I'm pretty good with my faith and my belief and the ability to be able to share a vision?
Oh, yes.
So the foundation, whatever the name is not going to have to worry about finances. I was saying to my wife the other day, it's like, man, I'll get in the face of every corporation on the planet. It's like, guess who you're giving money to? You know, it's like, listen, you know, there's I think I brought this up to you guys, and it just hit me right now. You know, Bob Vickers, I talked about Bob Vickers, and he reached out to me. And there's no one on the planet that's better at writing grants for people to get money for nonprofit organizations. And I've helped him forever. You know what I mean? And he's always said, well, I need to pay for this. I need to take care of it. And I said, no, I'm not exaggerating, you guys, not exaggerating at all. I easily have known this man for over 25 years. Matt created the logo for his website. I mean, this guy just got this website, was with some company that I licensed the software for and used it as a business to sell websites. It's like, that's how long ago this was. And now it's like, man, I'm sure he probably knows how to create a foundation properly. But I do have another guy that who in this group said they talked to him, Leon. Was that Corky too? Yeah. Like, to think that when Josh decided to start the Zweigel Foundation, that his brother-in-law and his sister both do this stuff. So when you guys are thinking about a lot of family members, I think Katie brought this up, and maybe she'll watch this after. She sent me a private message, and I hope she's not mad at me for saying this, but she was going, man, when you start accelerating and going toward where you're going, she says, I got a bunch of people that are my dear friends that have been friends of mine since high school and in even elementary school. And what do? Do you just leave those people behind? And it's like, no, you pay them to work for you. So we always make fun of the hip hop guys and the rap guys when they got their posse. Don't we? We're like, why does this person got a whole group of people around them? That's their family members. See, that's when you're making so much money. I call up Jerome and I go, Jerome, how much do you make a year? I'm doubling it. What am I doing? I don't know, brother, but you're on the payroll. Which wouldn't that get rid of your loneliness? See, that gets rid of your loneliness when the people that really know who you were before you figured this out, they're all hanging around you, keeping you grounded, so you don't lose your head. Jerome, Bob Vickers, that was his website is Artful Askers. artfulaskers.com. And he's artfulaskers.com. God, this stuff all comes to me at the right moment. We'll close it up. Has anybody ever heard probably in every biblical thing that's out there, has anybody ever heard that you need to ask before you receive? That's where he got the name. Learn to be an artful asker. And so I won't tell you what his deal is, but this guy knows that every major corporation on the frickin' planet has to consistently think about how much money they got to give to charity. And he knows how to get it. People that might be in line with what you're doing or whatever, but he knows how to teach you how to artfully ask for the money and what you need to be, because a lot of these companies, you got to be, 501c3, you got to do a lot of these little things. So the company, if they do give you the grant or give you the money, need to be able to write it off. But I know that's a totally different thought, but maybe it's not. Some of you that watch this live or recorded is going like, well, how in the hell could I ever get all the money that I need to make my dreams come true? A lot of different vehicles like Dana brought up. So with that, we'll call it a day. I love each and every one of you. Craig, I'll let you close it out and see you guys tomorrow.
Fantastic. Wow. And ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we are going to be going into the second of the combination of the special combination of the Science of Getting Rich, but we're going to we're only because it's in the chapter at this point, but the combination being 4, 14, and 7, we're going to chapter 7 tomorrow. Gratitude. And if you miss this is, I mean, like, okay, yes, it's the 3 combination, but it is still such a powerful, powerful chapter that you need to be here. Gratitude. That's tomorrow on Mastering the Science of Getting Rich with all of us and, of course, our mentor, Robert Hollis. If you want to save the chat, go ahead, click, in those of you that are watching on Zoom, go ahead and click on the 3 dots to the right of the 2, and then click on Save Chat, and the information will download at the conclusion of this. Those of you watching on YouTube, I got it right this time, on YouTube, it's right there in the chat. So you got all the links that we were able to grab and share with you. I want to personally thank, as well as on behalf of everyone, Bill Shoemaker, Lisa Marie Cook, Angela Castleman, Karen Owens, Corky Kinter, John Tier, and Deborah Bronner for sharing with us today. And please do not forget to join us tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, for our next chapter in the Science of Getting Rich. I also need to put a shout out to Matthew Hollis for being our foundation for this amazing mastering session. So until next time, and I'm going to unmute everyone, please be good to yourselves, be cash, and bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thank
Bye,
you,
guys.
Mark
Thank you, everybody. Love you all.
Craig, and Matthew.
Melody.
Awesome.
Hey, Corky.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Robert.
Bill.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Robert.
Karen.
Bless.
Thank you for the message, Bill.
Jerome. Thank you, Chris, John,
Thank
Melody,
you,
Great
Robert.
Sunday night.
Angela,
Bye.
Deborah, Kareem.
Good Sunday.
Love
Yeah.
you, Robert.
Love you too. Bye, Dustin.
I can hear you.
Bye, Carmen.
Bye, blessing.
Bye, Karim and Patrick.
Bye, Danielle. Bye, John.
Thank you, Robert.